Hi students. Welcome to MI Academy. We are studying the grade 10, chapter 1, Chemical Basis of Life, in that we discussed about different types of biomolecules, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. And now in this video we will be discussing about water, minerals, and vitamins. First, let's discuss about water. Water is an important thing for every organisms. Water is an inorganic compound. 2/3 of the body weight of most organisms is by water. Water is the most abundant inorganic compound found in living beings. Now we will discuss the special properties of water that make it so useful for all the living organisms. So we will look at each property and how it helps to maintain the life. The first property, it is a good solvent, as you know in your household. If you want to dissolve something, say for cooking, making tea, making a juice, you use water. The second property is, water acts as a respiratory medium. Oxygen is dissolved in water so that the aquatic organisms such as fishes can breathe. Then it helps to regulate body temperature. Due to high specific heat capacity, the body temperature does not fluctuate quickly with changes in the environment. Which means, the water doesn't become hot very quickly. That is why you know the sea does not become hot during the daytime quickly like the sand or the soil. So water is inside the living body, absorbs a lot of heat, and it helps to maintain the body temperature of living organisms. So here you can see the body temperature does not fluctuate quickly with changes in the environment. You all know birds and mammals are warm-blooded animals. Warm-blooded animals means the body temperature does not change with the change in environment temperature, whether the environment is cold or hot. And the next one is, as a transport medium, water being the main constituent of blood, it helps to transport nutrients, vitamins and hormones to relevant locations. And also, water is transported to the upper parts of the plant due to high cohesive and adhesive force of water molecules. Then the next property is called differential expansion in freezing. Now all substances have a density. Density of water is high and the density of ice is less, so when water turns to ice, the density of ice becomes less, therefore ice floats on water. Water will be below and ice will be floating on water. This is very useful for aquatic organisms living in cold countries. When ice is formed, they come to the top layers of water, keeping water as it is in the bottom. This provides living environment for aquatic organisms. So these are different properties of water. So, I hope students that you got a very good understanding of the different properties of water, and how they are useful for the maintenance of life. So then next main inorganic component is minerals. Now we will discuss about minerals. Minerals. Minerals are important as a nutrient constituent to maintain the life process of organisms. So here they are nutrient, so they have a nutritional value. When we say nutritional value, the presence of that particular substance is important for the proper function of the living body. They are absorbed as trace or macro elements. Elements needed in higher amounts are known as macro elements, and the elements needed in small amounts are known as trace elements. 7% of the body weight is by minerals. The 3/4 of this 7% is composed of calcium and phosphorus, so these are the two main minerals in the living body. Other than that, potassium is there, iron is there, magnesium, copper, and iodine are in a living body. When the elements are not present in correct amounts, both plants and animals show deficiency symptoms. So even that small amount is not present. Deficiency means it's not they are in the required amount. The amount does not matter, it can be a high amount or a small amount, but if the required amount is not there, then we call it deficiency. Now we will see how these minerals are important for the existence of both plants and man. First element, that is potassium. So when we talk about potassium, This controls the ionic balance of the fluid in the cell. If we take the human body, it is made up of cells. And there is fluid inside the cell and is extracellular fluid, and the main component of these fluids is water. And in water there are minerals dissolved, so these minerals are the ions present in the body, and there should be a balance between all these types of ions. And potassium helps to maintain and control the ionic balance of the fluid in the cell. It is important for the activity of heart and muscles. The proper functioning of the heart is important for the circulation of blood, and the muscles are controlled or helped by the presence of potassium in human body. Then transmission of nerve impulse, so as I am talking to you, you can hear this sound received by your ear, and the information is carried to your nervous system. And in the brain you get the information. So the sound what you hear from your ears has to go to the brain, so this transmission is done by the nervous system. This is called transmission of nerve impulse. This information. There will be these deficiency symptoms. The muscles of the body can become weak, and also psychological disorder. Psychology means the mental state of a person can change due to the deficiency of potassium as mineral. Now we will look at the next mineral, sodium. Sodium is necessary to activate enzymes. Now you can remember, students, what is an enzyme? Yes, it is a special protein that is produced within the body, in order to increase the rate of biochemical reactions. When you eat food, the food has to get digested, and this happens inside the digestive system, where the food is mixed with a liquid substance, and that is called the digestive juice. So sodium is a constituent of the digestive juice. Then we have the next function to maintain constant osmotic pressure in cells. Now the human body is made up of cells. Inside the cell there is certain amount of water and ions. We saw that before. There is water and iron, and there is transfer of water and iron into and from the cell. So this is controlled by a factor called the osmotic pressure, a certain pressure within the cell due to the water and ions present. Transmission of nerve impulses is done by sodium. So if sodium is not present in enough amount in the human body, these deficiency symptoms can be observed. The first one is the respiratory disorder. It can be difficult for you to breathe in and out, is called respiratory disorder, cramps. When you all do activities, lot of physical activities, you get muscle cramps during sports activities or some other heavy physical workout. So to get rid of the cramp, what do? We take a little bit of salt. Another symptom is nausea. Nausea means feeling vomitish, having a headache, or turning off the head, feeling uncomfortable and uncomfortable. Feeling in your stomach, all these are part of the nausea symptom. And finally, it can even lead to diarrhea. So all these are the symptoms of sodium deficiency. Now we will go on to the next mineral, magnesium. It is a constituent of bones and teeth. Bones and teeth are the strongest components of a human body, and these two contain magnesium as a constituent element. Then to control nerve activity, so here it is only to control nerve activity in skeletal muscles. There are different types of muscles in the human body. The muscle that is attached to the skeleton of the body is skeletal muscles. There should be magnesium in the body, otherwise you will not be able to move your limbs properly. Then the next one is help in metabolic activities. When we say metabolic activities, these are the chemical activities that take place in a living organism, making of substances or breaking down of substances. So these are the functions of magnesium. There are two deficiency symptoms in magnesium: high heartbeat and nerve irritability. Because magnesium needed to control the nerve activity, there can be nerve irritability. That means, you feel a sensation, maybe the tip of your fingers or your hand or your leg, all that is due to the deficiency of magnesium. And also the heartbeat can increase more than the normal rate. Now we will look at calcium. Calcium again is another mineral needed for the proper functioning of human body. It is required for the growth of bones and teeth, as you can see here, magnesium is a constituent of bones and teeth. But calcium is needed for the growth of bones and teeth, so if you want to have strong teeth, strong bones, you need to have enough calcium in your body. Then it is important for blood clotting. When you have a wound in your body, a small cut in your hand, there will be blood flowing out. If we don't stop the blood flow, then there can be excessive blood loss. This is prevented by calcium. And proper function of nerves is also controlled by calcium. Then milk production. A newborn baby drinks milk from the mother. And the milk has to be produced within the mother's body. For these to happen properly, there should be enough calcium in the mother's body. And the final one is absorption of vitamin B. So even though you eat food containing vitamin B, but if you don't have enough calcium in your body, the vitamin B will not be absorbed by the body. We will get these types of deficiency symptoms for calcium. The first one is weakening of bones and teeth. Since calcium is needed for the growth of bones and teeth, if that is not enough in the human body, the bones and teeth will become fragile. The second symptom is growth disorders. The calcium ion is needed for the proper function of nerves, milk production, so if it's not enough in the body, it can lead to problems in the growth, so due to that a child may not grow properly. And finally, osteoporosis. Normally the human bones have small holes or pores in it. If there is not enough calcium, these pores become large, so the bone will have lot of large holes in it. Therefore the bone will be weak, and even if you fall down slightly, it can lead to a crack in the bone. Now we will look at phosphorus. Phosphorus is needed for the growth of bones and teeth. And it is a constituent of nucleic acid. As I said before in the previous video, only nucleic acid has carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and the phosphorus as constituents. Phosphorus is a constituent element for the carbohydrate and fat metabolism. So as I said before, what is metabolism or metabolic activity? Yes, it is the making or breaking down of chemical substances within the living body, or the chemical changes or reactions that take place inside the cell of a living body. The third one is instant release of energy in muscles and nerves. For you to function quickly or actively, your muscles and the nerves have to coordinate together and move properly. For this to happen, there should be enough energy within your muscles. If you don't have enough phosphorus, then the energy will not be released immediately whenever necessary. So that can lead to certain deficiency symptoms. So if we look at the deficiency symptom, the main deficiency symptom caused by phosphorus deficiency is the weakening of bones and become fragile. They can break easily. Then we will look at iron. Iron is very important for the synthesis of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, as you know, is the main component of red blood cells. So the hemoglobin is the substance that helps to transport oxygen throughout the body. Then if iron is not enough in the human body, there will be not enough hemoglobin present in blood. This condition is known as anemia. And due to this anemia we have certain symptoms, that is the sleepiness, hypoactive nature, and weakness in psychological development. So if you don't have enough iron in the body, there won't be enough hemoglobin in the blood. So the amount of oxygen transported throughout the body will not be sufficient for the proper functioning of the human body. Therefore you will feel sleepy all the time. You won't feel like doing work actively, you have a lethargic nature, you feel tired and you don't feel like moving, you don't feel like studying or doing sports activities. That is what we call as hypoactive nature, and all these can lead to weakness in psychological development. Another function of iron is the storage of oxygen in muscles. Iron is important to store oxygen in muscles. Inside the muscles there is glycogen and oxygen. Whenever necessary, glycogen will be converted to glucose, and that will react with oxygen during cellular respiration, and that will produce energy for the function of the body. The next one is iodine. Iodine is important for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone. We already talked about hormones. There are lipid hormones and protein hormones in the body. And these hormones are needed for the coordination of all the parts of our body, so thyroxine hormone is important for the growth and the proper function of the human body. The metabolic activities of the body are also controlled by thyroxine hormone, so for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone, we need to have iodine. That is why most of the salt that we get in the shops contain iodine. So for most people, we need to take enough iodine so that enough thyroxine hormone is synthesized in the body and it controls the functions of the body. But if you are a person who has too much of thyroxine, then of course the person has to reduce the intake of iodine. So normally a healthy person needs a certain amount of iodine for the proper function of the body. And if iodine is not enough, we will get these deficiency symptoms. It will affect the development of intelligence, lethargic attitude towards studies, and finally it limits body height. Because thyroxine is important for the growth of the body. So that brings us to the end of the importance of different types of minerals for humans. Next we will see how these minerals are important for the proper functioning of a plant and deficiency symptoms of them. So the first mineral is nitrogen. It is a constituent of amino acid, proteins, nucleic acid, and chlorophyll. So as you already know students, nitrogen is a main constituent in proteins, and nucleic acids, and also in chlorophyll, which is the green color pigment that is present in green plants. So if nitrogen is not enough in a plant, there will be these deficiency symptoms, the retardation of growth of the plant, so that means the plant will not grow as expected. There will be not enough height, or it will not produce enough fruits. Then chlorosis in mature leaves. Chlorosis comes from the word chlorophyll, so if there is enough chlorophyll in the plant will have a proper green color. But if there is not enough chlorophyll, the color of the plant will change, it will become a pale color, or there can be yellow or brown patches. Next mineral is phosphorus. So phosphorus again is as a constituent of nucleic acid, and ADP, adenosine triphosphate. So what is this adenosine triphosphate? We have already discussed the process of cellular respiration. In this process glucose molecules are broken down in order to produce energy for the function of the cell. So in that the energy is produced and contained within molecules called ADP, adenosine triphosphate. Then due to the deficiency of phosphorus, we can see retarded growth of roots. The root will not grow properly, therefore the plant will be unable to absorb enough water and nutrients for its function. There will be red and purple color patches on the leaf. Then we have potassium. It is important for protein synthesis inside the plant cells. There is protein synthesis, then the opening and closing of stomata. If you take a plant leaf, the surface of the leaf has small openings called the stomata. This is the opening through which carbon dioxide that is needed for the plant for photosynthesis goes into the leaf through the stomata, the same way the byproduct of photosynthesis, oxygen, is given out of the plant through the stomata. So stomata is the pore present in leaves or in the stem, so the opening and closing of stomata will not take place properly if the plant has potassium deficiency. We can see these two symptoms if the plant has potassium deficiency. Chlorosis in leaves, and formation of yellow or brown patches in the leaves can be observed. Then we have sulfur. Sulfur is a constituent of amino acids. You all know the constituent elements of protein, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and there is sulfur in some of the amino acids. If sulfur is not enough in the plant, the deficiency symptom will be chlorosis in veins, and areas between veins. Next is iron. It is important in synthesis of chlorophyll, so as you already know chlorophyll is an important pigment which gives green color to the plants, and it is necessary for photosynthesis. So if the plant body does not have enough iron, then there won't be enough chlorophyll. And synthesis of respiratory enzymes. Students, you all know that green plants have photosynthesis process. During availability of sunlight they do photosynthesis, but nighttime they do respiration. So for this respiration there are enzymes needed inside the plant body. So for these enzymes to be synthesized or produced within the plant body, the plant has to have enough iron. And if iron is deficient, then there will be chlorosis in tender leaves. So if you can remember, we discussed in the previous slides also about chlorosis. Where chlorophyll pigment is not there in the plant, or it is not enough in the plant, but these chlorosis can be in the mature leaves, tender leaves, or any leaf. So here deficiency of iron chlorosis is seen in tender leaves only. Okay, we will look at the next element, calcium. It is a component of the cell wall, so as you know, students, in a plant cell, there is a cell membrane, outside the cell membrane there is a cell wall. What is the main component present in a cell wall? It is cellulose. In addition to that there is calcium also. The second importance is to maintain the structure and function of plasma membrane. If we take a plant cell, outside is the cell wall and inside we have the cell membrane. Within the cell membrane all the organelles of the cells are present in the plasma, so for the structure and functions of the plasma membrane to be maintained properly, we need to have enough calcium in the plant body. The next one is for the activity of enzymes, so the calcium is also needed for the activity of enzymes. You already know what enzymes are. We need to have enough calcium in the plant body. Deficiency symptom are dying of tissues at the tips of the leaves. If you look at the tip of the leaf that is dead, you can see a brown colored tip, curled. The next element is zinc. This is necessary for the activity of most enzymes, so as you already know enzymes, and also it's necessary for the synthesis of chlorophyll like other minerals. Zinc is also necessary for the synthesis of chlorophyll. So if this is deficient in the plant, there will be dead cells and tissues throughout the plant. So if it is a normal plant, a healthy plant, you will see that the stem, the leaves, everything will be fresh, but if the plant is deficient in zinc, then you can see there will be dead cells. And brown color patches, very dry because of the dead cells, and also there will be extra thickness in the leaves. Normally the plant leaves are very soft and nice. Here there will be extra thickness. As you look at the leaf itself, you will be able to identify that there is a difference in the texture. It's too thick, so that is due to deficiency of zinc. So students, you have to remember different mineral deficiencies cause chlorosis, but you have to remember in which part of the plant leaf the chlorosis is observed. Okay, so with that we come to the end of the discussion regarding minerals, and their importance to humans and plants, and the deficiency symptoms caused to these plants and people if it is not present in the required amount. So with that we will go on to the next type of compound, that is important for living organisms. This is an organic compound and it is vitamins. So vitamins are organic compounds important in biochemical reactions. So as you already know, the chemical reactions taking place in a biological system, that is the living body, is called a biochemical reaction. And for that these vitamins are very important, and if you look at the types of vitamins, there are different types, and they are given the name with the English letter. So under that we have vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and K. And these vitamins can be classified based on solubility of the vitamin in water, so B and C are soluble in water. Whereas vitamins A, D, E, and K are insoluble in water, but they dissolve very well in fat, so we call these vitamins as fat-soluble vitamins. Now we will see how important vitamin is to humans, uses of vitamins and their deficiency symptoms. Under that we look at vitamin A first. Now this is important for the formation of visual pigments, that is important in eye vision. Visual pigments means particles that can receive light. If we have vitamin A deficiency, then we won't have enough visual pigments. The second one is to keep skin healthy and fair. To maintain the health of the skin, you need to have enough vitamin A in your body, so that your skin is soft and fresh, and healthy. So if the vitamin A is deficient in a person, the person will have the following symptoms. Night blindness. A person with night blindness has a good vision during the daytime, but when it becomes dark the person will not be able to see the things around him. Then there is the formation of beetle patches in the eye. Look at that picture. At the white part of the eye there will be oval-shaped, or triangle-shaped, or irregular-shaped, brownish-colored patches, that is called the beetle patches. Then the dryness in the skin, and also blisters formed on knees and elbows. And finally the diseases associated with respiratory tract, so if you don't have enough vitamin A, it can lead to diseases in your respiratory tract, so you might end up with breathing problems. Now we will look at vitamin B. Vitamin B is important for the maintenance of nerves, so students, you all know the function of nerves. They are important for the transmission of impulses specially related to sensory functions, as well as coordination. So for all these processes to take place properly, we should have a healthy nervous system. For that we need to have enough vitamin B in our body. And to maintain a healthy skin, then the formation of bone marrows. If you take the human bones, if you cut it across and see inside, there is a semi-solid substance called the bone marrow. Now this bone marrow is important for the production of red blood cells of blood, so if there is not enough bone marrow, then there won't be enough red blood cells in the blood. Therefore this can lead to breathing problems. The third one is the maturation of red blood cells, so vitamin B is not only important for the formation of bone marrow, but is also important for the maturation of red blood cells. And also antibody production. Antibody is a chemical substance that is produced within the human body in order to fight the pathogens that are entering the body. The pathogens are harmful substances that enter the body, and body produces the substance called antibody during immune activity, and they destroy the pathogen. So for the production of antibody we need to have enough vitamin B. If we don't have enough vitamin B, we will end up with these symptoms. Beriberi, it is a disease caused by vitamin B deficiency. This is related to the nervous system, the limbs becoming numb. There can be bleeding under the skin. Another problem is anemia. We have discussed anemia before. If you don't have enough hemoglobin or not enough red blood cells in the blood is called anemia. So as you can see, vitamin B is important for the formation of bone marrow as well as maturation of red blood cells. So if these two are disturbed, obviously there will not be enough red blood cells in the body, then that condition will lead to anemia. The next symptoms is dryness in the skin. So if you don't have vitamin B, the health of the skin is disturbed, and therefore the skin will become dry. And also you can observe a change in the complexion. And finally, reduction in antibody production, so the overall your immunity can go down due to this reduction in antibody production. So vitamin C is the next type of vitamin. Again, this is also to keep skin healthy. And to form enamel. Enamel is the outer covering of teeth, so for the teeth to be strong and protected, there should be a proper enamel coating. If we don't have enough vitamin C, then there won't be enough enamel around the teeth, so the teeth will not be strong enough. Then the third one is to synthesize collagen fibers. Collagen is a protein that is present as fibers, and this collagen is present in the skin, muscle, bones, and many other parts of a human body. And this collagen is the fiber that gives this flexibility and the smooth nature to the skin. So for us to have a healthy skin, we need to have enough collagen fibers in the skin. If we don't have enough vitamin C in our body, we will get these deficiency symptoms. Weakening of the gums. If you take the mouth, we have the upper jaw and the lower jaw. Around that the layer of tissue present is known as the gum, and if we don't have enough vitamin C, then these gums which hold the teeth will become weak. You might even see sometimes blood coming out between the teeth. Vitamin C causes delays of recovery from diseases. Normally you all know when you have a cold or flu you tend to take vitamin C. Or you eat fruits which contain vitamin C, that is to help you recover from that disease. Scurvy is another disease due to vitamin C deficiency. During scurvy there will be bleeding from the gums. Then we'll look at vitamin D. It controls absorption of calcium and phosphorus. If we don't have enough vitamin D, calcium and phosphorus absorption will be disturbed. Therefore vitamin D is necessary for controlling absorption of calcium and phosphorus, and if that is deficient we will end up with a disease called recuts, that is the deforming of bones. In some children you might have seen, the legs and hands are not straight. So we look at the next vitamin, vitamin E. It is important for growth of tissues and cells, so if we don't have enough vitamin E, we will get these symptoms. Premature birth. For a baby to be born, the baby should develop within the mother's womb for almost 10 months, but if the baby is born before that, then we call it as premature birth. Then there is the problem of increased rate of breaking down of red blood cells. As you know, red blood cells are an important component of our blood. And if they are broken down, then we won't have enough red blood cells to transport oxygen. The next one is the weakness in cell division. Weakness in cell division will cause problems in regeneration of the human body. Say if you have a small wound, there should be new cells formed and the wound should heal. So if cell division takes place, only new cells will be produced. If we don't have enough vitamin E, then we won't have enough cell division. Then it will take a longer time for the wound to heal because there is weakness in cell division. Similarly, there can be weakness in reproduction. Any living being has to reproduce, so that the generation can exist. For that to happen properly, we need to have vitamin E. The next vitamin is vitamin K. This is very important to produce components needed for blood clotting, so when there is an injury, and there is blood loss, the body takes action to prevent the blood loss by forming blood clots. For the blood clot to form, we need to have enough vitamin K in the body, and if we don't have vitamin K, blood clot will not be formed. There can be excessive blood loss, and that can lead to complications. So if we don't have vitamin K, there will be delays in blood clotting. So students, now we looked at all the different types of vitamins, its importance, and their deficiencies. Okay students, we have finished the chapter 1, Chemical Basis of Life, in grade 10 science. I will start the chapter 2, Motion in a Straight Line, in our next video, so please subscribe to MI Academy and turn on the notification bell icon, to all, so that you can watch my upcoming videos without missing. Also please, like my videos, and add up your questions and doubts in the comments. I will try to reply them as soon as possible. Share the videos with your friends, and help them to learn, quickly and easily. Okay students, then let's meet in our next video.